So, what actually makes your heart beat? It's not your brain telling it to. It's not some command from on high. Your heart, it's its own power plant with this incredible self-generating electrical system. Today, let's follow the journey of that single spark that, quite literally, keeps us all alive. To really get your head around the job this system has to do, just look at this number, 3 billion. That's about how many times an average human heart will beat in a lifetime. I mean, think about that. To pull that off flawlessly day in and day out for decades, you need a system that is nothing short of brilliant. And this system really has two main jobs. First, it has to generate its own rhythmic electrical impulses to even start the beat in the first place. And second, it has to conduct those impulses super fast and with pinpoint precision through the heart muscle. Why? To make sure you get a perfectly coordinated, powerful pump. Okay, so how does it start all by itself? Well, that brings us to the first leg of our journey, the heart's amazing ability to just run on autopilot. It's a feature called automaticity. Automaticity basically means that certain special cells in your heart don't need anyone to tell them to fire. They can literally excite themselves. They create their own rhythm, their own beat, all on their own. It's an absolutely incredible feat of biology. And what's really fascinating is that there are actually a few different parts of the heart that can do this. You've got the AV node and the Purkinje fibers, and they can act as backup pacemakers if needed. But just look at the speeds. The sinus node is the fastest, firing away at 70 to 80 times a minute. And because it's the fastest, it sets the pace for everything else. It's the natural leader of the pack.
All right, let's zoom in. We're going to start right where the beat begins, inside that primary pacemaker, the sinus node. You can think of this as the heart's command center. And for a job this important, it is shockingly small. The SA node is just this tiny little strip of muscle, only about 15 millimeters long, tucked away in the upper wall of the right atrium. Every single heartbeat for your entire life starts right there. So, what's the secret sauce? What makes these SA node cells so special? Well, as you can see, a normal heart muscle cell just kind of hangs out at rest with an electrical charge of about negative 90 millivolts. But the SA node cells, they're less negative, sitting at around negative 55. And the reason is so cool. They are naturally leaky to positive sodium and calcium ions. This constant leak causes their charge to just automatically drift upwards until, bam, it hits the firing threshold, creates a spark, and then the whole cycle just repeats over and over and over again. So once that spark is created, it zips across the heart's upper chambers, the atria, and tells them to contract. The signal then arrives at the next big checkpoint, the atrioventricular node, or AV node. And right here, something very deliberate and totally vital happens. The signal hits the brakes. The AV node is in the perfect spot, acting like the only electrical gateway between the upper atria and those powerful lower ventricles. Every single impulse has to pass through this gate to keep its journey going. There's no other way around. Which, leads to a pretty logical question. If the goal is a fast, efficient system, why on earth would you build a speed bump right in the middle of it? Why intentionally slow the signal down? And the answer is just pure mechanical genius. This delay gives the atria, the upper chambers, just enough time to finish their squeeze and push all their blood down into the ventricles. It makes sure the main pumps are completely full before they get the signal to contract. Without this delay, the heart would be a really, really inefficient pump. This timeline really puts that delay into perspective. Look, the signal gets from the start line to the AV node in just 0.03 of a second. Blink and you miss it. But then it takes another 0.13 of a second just to get through the AV node. That tiny fraction of a second, it makes all the difference in the world. Okay, so after that crucial pause, the signal finally gets the green light to enter the lower chambers. And it doesn't just trickle in. Oh no, it enters an electrical superhighway that's designed for one thing and one thing only: incredible speed. This superhighway is called the Purkinje fiber system. Now, these aren't your normal muscle fibers. They are specialized, very large fibers that basically act like high-performance wiring, branching out to deliver the signal to every single corner of the ventricles almost instantly. I mean, just look at the difference in speed here. While the signal is crawling through the AV node and moving through regular muscle at about 0.3 meters per second, it absolutely rockets through the Purkinje fibers at up to 4 meters per second. That's more than 10 times faster. It really is a biological superhighway.
And the result of all that incredible speed is what the source material calls an almost instantaneous transmission. This ensures that the massive ventricular muscle contracts all at once, like one single powerful unit, generating the maximum possible force to pump blood out to the lungs and the rest of your body. So we have this amazing internal autopilot system. But what happens when you need to run for a bus or when you're just relaxing on the couch? Your body needs a way to step in and take over the controls, right? And of course, it has one. The heart's natural rhythm is constantly being fine-tuned by your body's autonomic nervous system, which can tell it to speed up or slow it down depending on what your body needs at that very moment. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a gas pedal and a brake. The sympathetic nerves, that's your gas pedal. They release a chemical called norepinephrine, which revs up the heart rate and the force of contraction. That's your fight or flight response. Then you have the parasympathetic nerves. That's the brake. They release a different chemical, acetylcholine, which slows the heart rate back down for rest and digest. It's this constant, delicate balance between the two that keeps your heart beating at just the right pace for everything you do. So, let's just quickly walk through that incredible journey one last time. It all begins with a spark in the SA node. That signal then spreads across the atria. It gets deliberately delayed at the AV nodes to let the ventricles fill all the way up. Then it blasts down that Purkinje superhighway for a near-instant delivery, which leads to a powerful, synchronized squeeze. And that right there is the whole point. Every single step, every delay, every burst of speed, it's all perfectly designed to make the heart an astonishingly effective and efficient pump, beat after beat for our entire lives. But that perfection leads to one last, really critical question. We all know things can go wrong. We hear about things like arrhythmias or heart block. So if this system is so elegant and so robust, what exactly causes it to break down? It's a powerful reminder of the delicate, life-sustaining dance happening inside our chests with every single beat.